Lakers Nation, what is going on? So in today's video we gotta talk about a very interesting mock draft projection because the Los Angeles Lakers are now being linked to Houston big man Chris Cenac Jr. and honestly this might be one of the biggest boom or bust prospects the Lakers could target in this draft, because when you look at the size, the wingspan, the defensive upside and how he could fit next to Luka Doncic, you start to understand why scouts are getting excited about him. But at the same time there are definitely concerns with his game, and we gotta talk about all of it because this could either end up being a genius long-term move by the Lakers or a risky gamble that takes years to develop. And Lakers Nation, I'm telling y'all right now, if the Lakers actually draft this dude, he would instantly become one of the most intriguing young players on the roster, because this guy is 6'10" barefoot with a crazy 7'5" wingspan and weighs around 240 pounds, and after the NBA draft combine his stock absolutely exploded and multiple teams are now looking at him as a first-round prospect. Now before we really get into this, make sure you guys comment down below right now, would y'all draft Chris Cenac Jr. if the Lakers stay at pick 25, or would you rather the Lakers target a more NBA-ready player? Because I already know Lakers fans are gonna be split on this one. But getting into the actual report, this latest mock draft has the Lakers selecting Chris Cenac Jr. at number 25 overall, and the reason why is because of his upside and fit in a Luka Doncic system, because when you play next to Luka you need athletic bigs who can rebound, finish plays, catch lobs, defend multiple positions and space the floor a little bit, and Chris Cenac actually checks a lot of those boxes. One thing that immediately stands out about him is the physical profile, because you can't teach this type of size and length. This dude measured at over 6'10" barefoot with a 7'5" wingspan, and that automatically gives him elite defensive upside. And honestly, when you watch his tape you can see flashes of a modern NBA big that could eventually become extremely dangerous, especially in today's NBA where versatility matters more than ever. And this is where things get interesting, Lakers Nation, because scouts believe his ceiling could actually be similar to a player like Jaren Jackson Jr., which is a massive comparison because we all know Jaren Jackson is one of the best defensive bigs in basketball. But the reason people are making that comparison is because Cenac has mobility, he can switch defensively, he can move on the perimeter, and he also has offensive flashes with face-up jumpers and pick-and-pop potential. Now obviously I'm not saying he's gonna become Jaren Jackson Jr. because that's a huge expectation, but the upside is definitely there, and that's why teams are interested in him even though he's still raw offensively. And another thing Lakers fans are gonna love is his rebounding ability, because this dude plays with a high motor on the glass and uses his length extremely well, and let's be honest, one of the Lakers' biggest problems recently has been size, rebounding and rim protection, especially after losing athleticism in the frontcourt, so adding a young big with this kind of length could absolutely help long term. But now we gotta talk about the concerns, because this is not some perfect prospect and there's a reason why he's still projected in the late first round instead of the top 10. One of the biggest criticisms scouts have is that for somebody with his size and wingspan he doesn't always play physical enough inside, and honestly that's a fair concern because he averaged only 9.5 points and 0.5 blocks per game, and sometimes he settles too much for jumpers instead of dominating inside. And that's something Lakers fans would probably get frustrated watching, because there are times where you expect a player this big to attack the paint, protect the rim and bully smaller players, but instead he likes operating in the mid-range or floating around the perimeter. Another issue is strength, because even though he weighs around 240 pounds, scouts still believe he needs to get stronger physically, because bigger centers can move him off his spots, and if he's gonna survive defensively in the NBA against elite bigs, he's gonna have to continue developing his body. But I will say this, Lakers Nation, the modern NBA is changing and traditional back-to-the-basket centers aren't as valuable as they used to be, and that's why a player like Chris Cenac becomes interesting, because he fits the mold of these newer versatile mobile bigs who can switch on to guards, move laterally and still provide size. And honestly, if there's one player who could maximize a prospect like this, it might actually be Luka Doncic, because we've seen Luka elevate athletic big men throughout his career with his passing and playmaking, and imagine Luka running pick and rolls with a 6'10" lob threat who also has the ability to stretch the floor a little bit. That could become extremely dangerous over time. Now according to reports, multiple teams are looking at Cenac in that 22 to 26 range, with teams like the 76ers, Knicks, Bulls and Hawks all being mentioned as possible landing spots, and that tells you NBA teams are definitely buying into the upside. The Knicks reportedly like him as a potential replacement for frontcourt depth, while other teams love the idea of developing his defensive versatility and rebounding, and honestly that's probably what the Lakers would be betting on too if they drafted him, because this would not be a win-now move, this would be a long-term upside swing. And that's the biggest question, Lakers Nation. Should the Lakers use this pick on a raw high-upside project, or should they focus on somebody more NBA ready that can help Luka immediately? Because remember, the Lakers are trying to compete right now and Luka is already in his prime, so every move matters. Personally, I could see both sides, because if Chris Cenac develops correctly, you could end up getting a modern versatile two-way big man on a rookie contract, which would be massive for the Lakers' future, especially with how expensive rosters are becoming around the NBA. But at the same time, there's definitely risk involved, because if the offensive game never fully develops, or if he continues struggling with physicality, then you might just end up with an athletic rotational big instead of a true impact player. Still though, I can't lie, Lakers Nation, the tools are definitely intriguing, and when you combine elite measurements, mobility, rebounding, defensive upside and flashes of shooting, that's exactly the type of prospect NBA teams gamble on in the late first round every single year. And if the Lakers front office truly believes in their player development system, this could absolutely be one of those sleeper picks that people look back at years later and say, how did he fall that far in the draft? But alright, Lakers Nation, now I want to hear from y'all in the comments down below. If the Lakers stay at pick 25, would you draft Chris Cenac Jr., or would you rather the Lakers trade the pick or target another prospect? And also, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications for more Lakers news, mock drafts and trade rumors, because we got a lot more content coming soon.